Welcome to a special Tuesday morning edition of the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. The preseason is over. And now we are here on the day that we find out which players the Denver Broncos go with going forward into the regular season. It is Cutdown Day, baby. We've already had some cuts this morning. We have prepared our own 53-man rosters, and we are ready to go. So let's see how right we were in our predictions. Welcome to the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast.
Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast.
Cutdown Day, baby. What's up, Broncos country, NRW crew? Welcome to the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. My name is Johnny Baki. I am your host on today's journey of emotions and predictions and fun. I don't know why I got so excited there, but I did. With me, back on the show for the first time in a while. It's good to have the founding father, my fellow founding father of the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast, back. My best friend, Isaiah Henderson. That's right. And below
what's up,
me,
NRW Crew?
My childhood best friend, my cousin, Jay Dreamweaver Weaver. What's up, boys?
What up? It's been a while, NRW Crew. Glad to be back. It's absolutely wonderful. The news broke, and when we decided to do this, I absolutely had to hop back on. So, I'm back here repping the Nothing Rhymes jersey and the
we're gonna get you one, Jay. I promise.
Nothing Rhymes merch. So,
Ooh,
guys,
I like that cup.
Thank you. I think
we're gonna get you. Yeah, that was custom made a long time ago by one of my wife's friends. We're gonna get you one of them too.
Absolutely. So, I had to be my first time back. I come back and represent the Nothing Rhymes merch. So, you guys like this video?
Here we go.
To this channel. So,
yeah,
share
that's right.
With your friends. Let's go. Breaking news. Glad to be back.
What's
up,
subscribe,
Jay?
Share it out there, guys. Come on. We're live. There's breaking news happening. Cuts are happening as we are live right now. Okay? We have 53-man rosters built by each of us. What we predicted. Some of them have already changed as of this morning, but you know what? It's okay. It's fun. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. Please like, subscribe, and share. Don't miss our other shows. Normally, this show is on Thursdays. We will not be live this Thursday due to some personal reasons. However, we will be live, or we are live this morning as a result. We are also live every game day at 10 or 12, 11, 10, 9. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter every game day for the Get Bucked pregame show. Then, following every game, about a half an hour after each one, I'm sorry, my mustache decided it wanted to get eaten. And then after every pregame or after every game, about a half an hour later, is the Buck Your Feelings post-game show. Don't miss them. We've got more content coming soon. The NRWOB Smash is coming up here soon. That's going to be a lot of fun. Guys, also, I must ask you to please go check out our merch store. You can see the link below in the bio. I'm bringing it up right here, right meow. Check it out. We got t-shirts. We got hoodies. We've got pajama sets. We've got cups, mugs, stickers, onesies for the kids, dog bandanas. I mean, you can imagine it. It's probably in here somewhere. I'm going to jump on in here. We got multiple designs, multiple colors. We'll go with this one today. Awesome looking hat. I can't wait to get my hands on this hat.
Oh, that's a beauty right there.
Hey, I was going to say, I usually plug the t-shirt here. This is my usual t-shirt plug spot here, but I actually just got in the mail another piece of merch. I got a sticker pack. Stickers, big stuff. Got it on the back of the laptop. You can't really see it here, but it adds to the feng shui here of the office.
Yeah, well, yeah,
puts the vibe out.
You said you plug t-shirts. I plug hats. I love hats.
Go.
So
I just started going back to the
I'm going to
gym,
get my hands on that beautiful gray hat. Like I said, there's everything there, guys. Quality is second to none.
And we're definitely going to, there's always going to be more merch always added. So,
we're going to be adding new designs and new logos. It's going to be awesome.
I go to the gym, so we're going to start putting some gym wear in there, some gym hoods, some hoodies in the gym. Maybe some Under Armour shirts.
Get you some swag, brother.
Exactly, yeah. So we're always going to get those things in there. We're always looking for feedback and stuff. So just go ahead, DM us at any of our Twitter right here. Just DM us any comments, concerns, questions you guys have. We'd love to answer them, love to engage with you. Remember, this is fan-led, so we're here for you guys.
That's right. We already have Rob. I think you already put it up there. We've already got Rob Myrick in the house on Facebook saying, "What's up, fellas?" That's our buddy over at Orange Weekly. It's good to see you, Rob.
Good to see you, Rob.
For joining us this morning. Hopefully, you've worked a little bit on your own 53-man roster, and it's coming up the way you were hoping so far. There's already been some breaking news on cuts this morning. Some cuts were made yesterday, and why don't we get right down to it, you guys? How do we want to do this? I kind of feel like we should go by position.
Position, yeah.
And I built mine in a way I could actually share it. I could actually share it on the podcast. But as things have changed, and as things change, I can change them real quick on there.
Well, let me ask this. Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Adon Diaz, 6'10" Mexican in the house. Saludos, Broncos country. What's up? Saludos and salutations, Adon Diaz. It's good to see you, my friend.
All right. What I was going to say is maybe we should start with positional groups that we are most confident about as far as, not very many questions. We can pretty much stow away long snapper. Brandon McManus isn't going anywhere. I don't think,
stowing away long snapper, that's actually kind of an interesting story. So we can definitely go into that. So, all right, I'm down with that. Isaiah, how about you, brother?
What's the question?
Oh, my God.
I was actually sending out an open invitation to Benjamin Albright to come join us on the Breaking Emergency podcast.
I doubt him. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's busy, though.
It's National Refresh Day. Refresh the browser as many times as you can.
Exactly. So, you never know till you ask. So, I just was shouting that out. So that's why I was over here doing that.
All right. Jay suggested that rather than just go by random position groups, we go with the ones that we are confident are kind of already set without having to, be hashing it out too much.
Yeah. Absolutely agree. 100%.
All right. So, you know what? Let's just start with special teams. Let's start with our specialists. Okay. I personally, obviously there's two positions there that are already set thanks to cuts from yesterday.
Yep.
All right. And that is the kicker is Brandon McManus. Ooh, shocking.
He earned it. Great job.
Well, I think he that very first 58-yarder that he missed in the preseason, he got that back. You could probably zoom in just maybe one more. Take it up one more. Waboom shaboom. I like it. All right. So, yeah, no, Brandon McManus is our kicker. Oh, my gosh, you guys. He did miss that 158-yarder that was negated by a penalty against it was against Dallas. And, you know, he got it back. He hit a 57-yarder against the Vikings. So, he actually, no, I think that one was against in the loss to the Bills. So, he got it back. Brandon McManus is officially the kicker. Whoa.
Well, he went 7. He went 7 for 7 in the preseason, right?
Yeah, only because that one he missed was
the lone Super Bowl 50 man.
It's all about resiliency. He missed one,
right.
chance at it, and hasn't missed since. So
let me throw it out there real quick, you guys. If you are watching us on Twitter and you are commenting and wondering why we are not responding to your comments, it's because we cannot see them. So if you are wanting to comment and you want to interact with us, please jump on over to YouTube, Nothing Rhymes Pod. I'm going to bring this up real quick because I kind of forgot to do that at the beginning, and that's on me. Boom.
Boom, boom, boom.
Nothing Rhymes Podcast. Search it on YouTube. You will find us there. Then you can comment and we can interact with your comments. Also, if you're looking for us on Twitter, at @nothing_rhymes_. And if you want to find us on Facebook, just search Nothing Rhymes with orange and blue. There we go. So I'm going to take that down. Meow. Right. Meow. All right. Punter.
Hey, Johnny, you want to read off the roster I pulled up so I can scroll so the audience can watch with them. So we can either start at the top and we can just go through the roster and obviously knock that out. But that way,
sure. I've been keeping up with who's already cut. Let me bring up my tracker here. Do you mind? I'm going to take this one out and the one that I've been keeping because I'm actually showing who's already been cut.
Oh, fantastic! You got the update. Love it.
So let me remove this. Sorry, guys.
For what it's worth, I'm constantly refreshing Twitter in the background just in case.
Hey, Isaiah, I need you to remove that from the share.
Oh, I bet.
You're good.
There we go.
Here we go. Okay, so this is my tracker that I start. It's based off the one that is on the Broncos website. However, space. I have color coordinated everything because I am a loser, and I have.
We love
and
you,
I'm already keeping track of. And one of you, please, for me, continue to refresh your Twitter feed so that anything that comes up, I can change it on the tracker. All right. So, looking at this here, already cut over the last 2 days, Darius Shepard from the wide receiver core, Quinn Bailey. Oh, and by the way, if you see it in orange, blue, or white, those were my predictions to make the 53-man. If it's yellow, they're pending, who I believe is pending cuts. Red means they're already cut, and purple is trades.
Hey, Johnny, zoom in a little bit.
Sure, no problem. Here we go. Let me know when to stop.
All right.
Right.
Are we going wide receiver or are we keeping with special teams?
Yeah, let's go down to special teams. Let's go back to special teams. So
got Brandon.
You can see it right here. As of yesterday, Sam Martin, the veteran punter, already cut from the Denver Broncos, which means Mr. Corliss Waitman is now the official placeholder and punter for the Denver Broncos. How are we feeling about that, guys? I like it.
Yeah, Sam Martin didn't want to take the pay cut, and so they decided, hey, we have a guy who's behind you in the competition who doesn't cost us much. Maybe not as good or as polished as you are, but he has the ceiling to get there. He has the potential to get there, and we can work on him for a lower cost. So I think they decided, yeah, we'll do that. Plus, I think they're confident that Sam Martin's definitely going to get picked up somewhere like the Bills. I'm assuming, he set the record for the net punting last year, the Broncos record. So he's a record setter, and, they're definitely looking for punters. And they're confident. George Payton, one of the things that George Payton likes to see where would these players land, the potential they're landing.
Yeah.
Sam
Martin won't be selling insurance tomorrow.
No, he'll be on a roster by the end of the day.
Yeah, so I like the move.
I do too. Save as many dollars as you can because we can roll them into next year, and we're about to give a quarterback a historic contract. So we need every dime we have.
Yes. And Dwayne Stukes is high on Corliss Waitman. He loves him. Mm-hmm. One thing about him, he's not his consistency is not where you want it to be just yet, but he does have a booming foot. He can punt it far, and his hang time is awesome. and for those that don't know what I'm talking about, hang time is the amount of time the ball's up in the air on a punt, and the more hang time you can put on a ball, the more time you give the rest of the special teams unit to get down the field and either lay and pin them deep, or force them to make a fair catch, or stop them from getting anywhere with the ball. Those are all good things. So that, to me, that's a good thing. All right, you can see here, I have long snapper Jacob Bobenmoyer. I am not. You remember that orange, like the orange, blue, or white colors. Like you could see Brandon McManus and Corliss Whitman are here in white, but they are in bold, which means that they made the roster to me, or that they made the roster. Bobenmoyer, I still have under yellow. Right, he's bold. I've got the lettering in bold because as of right now, he's the only long snapper we've got. So by default, he makes the team. However,
the Broncos did their due diligence.
I don't think he makes the team. I think the Broncos worked out. What was it, 7 or 9? It was 7 or 9 different long snappers.
It was 7 long snappers, and that's why.
Yeah, over the last Broncos, 2 weeks, right?
Of course, George Payton did his due diligence, and he went. When he chose Bobenmoyer, like they said, they wanted competition at every position.
Yeah,
they went out and had 7 people, so they've probably seen a couple of guys they like, but Bobenmoyer may have etched them out, but. For whatever
but you got to remember that mistake in the Vikings preseason game. That was an unforgivable mistake on special teams. Like, you're talking about a guy not just on special teams, but he is one of only 3 specialists on the roster, and doesn't know that when the punter puts it deep and puts it inside the 5, not to pick it up and run into the end zone. I mean, really?
Well, if the Broncos,
that's unforgivable.
One thing the new Broncos coaches have preached is consistency, and if they're going to be preach consistency, they have to be consistent. So if they're putting Jalen Virgil on the practice squad instead of the 53-man roster, that's because you made a special teams mistake. So if they're going to be consistent, I think the way they do it is, I agree with you, Johnny. They might bring someone else in that they already auditioned or came in and worked out with, because he made that crucial special teams mistake. So I absolutely agree with you.
And I mean, Jay, how do you feel about it? Because I feel like that's an unforgivable mistake.
It is, especially when everybody knocks kickers and punters for, like, you have one job to not screw up. A long snapper, even more to a higher extent than that. So, like, when you make a mistake, it's just multiplied 10 times. So
it's disgusting. It should not have happened.
Yeah, he's on shaky ground, but at the end of the day, minimally impactful until it's impactful. So hopefully we get somebody good.
I'm sure we've got. I mean, like Isaiah said, due diligence. 7 long snappers have been tested. We've got. I'm sure George Payton's got somebody in mind somewhere. So, moving on. Let's move where we want to go, guys. What position? Throw one out there for me.
Let's go running back.
Running back. This is a pretty easy one.
I think so too.
Jay, run it down for us.
Well, I got Javonte Williams starting. I got Melvin Gordon backing him up. And I got Mike Boone backing all 2 of them up. And Mike Boone actually getting some carries. I think Benjamin Albright said that. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, my gosh. Mike Boone's got that burst. So I'm all for it. Let's go. Carry 3 running backs. That's it.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Johnny and I were speaking earlier, and I told Johnny, I said, hey, who Mike Boone reminds me of? He reminds me of a shorter Melvin Gordon. I mean,
he's got more power, though. He's got more power, though. The
quickness and vision between the two, and their speed when they make cuts, they look very similar to me. So I agree with that. And maybe Nathaniel Hackett even has plays in there. I mean, he's so creative. He might have plays in there where he has 2 running backs in there, and it's Melvin Gordon and Mike Boone at the same time.
Sure.
So, I mean, you can see the combinations that he can do with any running back that we have. And Mike Boone is a running back 1 at a team in the NFL, 100%. Yeah. He's the moves he was making, he showed out in preseason. So he's definitely get some carries, maybe kick return, or going at punt return every once in a while. Him and Montreal are interchangeable. So yeah, I like the 3 running backs.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah. And then of course you got Stevie Scott. I don't know why he was still on here, but he got cut earlier this last week. He got cut like last week after the Bills game. I think. Jaquan Hardy.
Hold on, I got some news. The Broncos are waiving defensive lineman Jonathan Harris per source. They want him back on the practice.
Oh, snap. Oh, bye, Jonathan Harris. All right, give me a second. I'm going to update that on our tracker. So keep talking running backs, guys. We have Jaquan Hardy was cut yesterday, which leaves Divine Ozigbo. What happens to Ozigbo while I make that change on Jonathan Harris?
Practice squad, and he'll clear waivers. He'll go. He's good enough where we saw some good flashes. The only knock I have on him is he's from Nebraska. Other than that, I'm good with him being special teamer, practice squadder.
No,
Okay.
yeah, I definitely agree on the practice squad. He'd make a really good practice squad running back. We saw some acceleration from him, some good plays, some good yards per carry. And I think him being on the practice squad he can definitely learn the offense definitely more, playing with whatever quarterback we get on the practice squad. So that's going to be a good question too. Who is our practice squad quarterback? So I'm interested to see who George Payton scouts out and sees. We know we spoke about this before on the show that George Payton is a master scout. So I'm definitely interested to see who his practice squad quarterback is going to be. But I think the running back situation looks really good. So I'm excited this year.
I am too. I agree. Divine Ozigbo, he showed some pretty phenomenal power and burst in the preseason. That's why we already went and picked him up off waivers. So the fact that George Payton, as soon as he was released by the Saints, went ahead and picked him up off waivers, that speaks a lot to him. So good. I think he makes the practice squad, and he will be that back there in the event something does happen to one of the Magic Three, the three amigos up ahead of him.
I think that's a pretty easy position group to slot. I think
sure.
Starting at the top there, I think pretty self-explanatory on that one.
All right,
What's the
Isaiah,
next one up?
shout out another position group for me.
Let's see what we're looking at. Let's go to wide receiver.
Ooh, the meat and potatoes here.
Yeah, that is the meat and potatoes. We're now we get to go into the.
All
right, you guys, here we go. I'll go ahead and start this one off. Again, if it was orange, blue, or red on my tracker, it's who I predicted makes it. Red is cuts and yellow is pending cuts. There's only one purple so far on my tracker, and purple is trades. So I had the Broncos carrying 7 wide receivers. All right. We got, I said Jerry Jeudy, obviously, KJ Hamler, Cortland Sutton, Kendall Hinton. Is anyone shocked about those 4?
Nope.
Okay. Then I got us, of course, going Montrell Washington.
Okay.
I got us picking up keeping Tyree Cleveland.
Okay.
Dwayne Stukes said he likes him.
Yeah, Dwayne Stukes is high on him for special teams, so I think it's important.
He's guaranteed a spot. Dwayne Stukes is going to get his way, obviously, with Tyree Cleveland. He sees something in Tyree Cleveland.
I can't speak anything for you guys, but this is where it got difficult for me. Between Jalen Virgil, Brandon Johnson, and Seth Williams. Now, I ultimately ended up going Seth Williams because, one, Brandon Johnson's hurt. He was great in this preseason before he got that high ankle sprain. It sucks. We don't know how long he might be out, but Seth Williams then also showed he's got the magic hands. If his hands touch the ball, he's catching it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jalen Virgil, who had a great preseason himself, also made that another special teams critical error. And I think that one error, again, he was trying to make a play, but at that moment, it
on
was
the goal line.
On the goal line, it's that straw. It's that single straw that broke the camel's back. And so to me, ultimately, Seth Williams is the one that I chose to win out. So who did you guys take? And then obviously, as you can see, as of today, about 20 minutes ago, Darius Shepard has been cut from the Broncos.
So it's Trey Quinn, right? Quinn's gone.
I'm sorry. You're right. Trey Quinn is. That's one I did not fix, and I'm going to do that right now.
Isaiah, who do you got?
No, I agree with you. I agree with what George Payton's done so far. I'd cut Darius Shepard and Trey Quinn. Brandon Johnson definitely on the practice squad, and I put Jalen Virgil on the practice squad because I know that he's going to give practice squad some tough things at receiver. He's going to get a better receiver and definitely at returning. Let him grow a little bit more, get more mature, learn from his mistakes. Brandon Johnson comes back I can see putting Brandon Johnson also on the practice squad as well. Let those two give practice squad the work on the offense side of the ball. And I'd carry Seth Williams. Seth Williams showed that, he's got, he had a drop pass, but other than that, he had, I think, 6 receptions for 58 yards or 60 yards, something like that. He had a pretty good stat line.
Yes, he did it.
Big body receiver that can go up there and get it. When he does catch the ball, his hands are soft, so which is really good for a big body receiver.
Your hands are soft, big boy.
But it allows him to, he's ready to go out there and get this chemistry down with Russell Wilson when he's running with the ones. And I think that'd be big for him. And I think he'll be fantastic.
I agree. Jay, Did you have anything different?
I only had him carrying 6 today.
Okay,
so I do not have Seth Williams in.
Okay.
But your other 6 I'm good with. I think there's going to be a vet signing in the big body role because as a vet, you're going to find a big body vet way more frequent than you'll find a speedy slot vet. So, I mean, that type of wide receiver that we need to be, quote unquote, a Patrick replacement, I think we can find from a vet, cut today at some point.
Well, I didn't mention this earlier. When I put together my 53-man here, I did take into consideration the possibility of guys being cut or, of like clear, going on being waived or picking up guys on waivers. But ultimately, mine is built strictly around who's on the team right now.
Today to fill 53.
As of this moment, because I don't know what they're going to do. I'm not George Payton. So I just decided to stick with what we have on the team at the moment and just kind of be like, well, of the ones that we've got, this is what I would pick.
The only difference then I'd have Brandon Johnson ahead of Seth Williams. That would be my only defense then.
Well, Seth Williams would definitely get picked up in the waiver wire if that's the case. He'll definitely get taken off the practice squad. If that's a possibility that if that's the route George Payton takes, then he knows Seth Williams would definitely get picked up by somebody. He's a big body receiver. I can see him maybe going to Baltimore grabbing him. But I have him ahead, but I can definitely see the way you're going to go with that, Jay, because when Brandon Johnson comes back in injury, he's just going to take Seth Williams' would-be spot. So, I can definitely see that.
All right.
Okay.
So let's continue. I think it's my turn to call out for a particular position group, right?
Yeah.
Well, where do I want to go with this? You know what? I'm going to go with safeties.
Ooh. This is
I'm
a big
going to go
one
with
for
safeties. Me. Yeah. So this one actually wasn't too hard. This one wasn't hard for me. I picture the Broncos carrying 5 total safeties, 3 strong safeties, and 2 free safeties. Reason being, obviously, Kareem Jackson. He is the piss missile that we love so much that just flies in and knocks people out. Right? Caden Stearns has absolutely shown he belongs in the NFL.
Agreed.
And I cannot wait to see where his career is going to take him. I believe that De'Aaron Turner-Yell in this final preseason game, he showed up and he showed out in a big way.
He's a banger. I like him a lot. He's a banger.
He's like, I'm a rookie, but it doesn't matter. I'm making this 53-man.
Yes,
and so I think he showed enough that he can do that. In addition, I see us keeping 3 strong safeties because there's a lot of our dime packages you're going to see maybe 1 off-ball linebacker on the field, and they're going to be filling that slot with guys like Kareem Jackson or K1 Williams. But the point is you might be seeing up to 5 to 6 defensive backs on the field at the same time. So I saw keeping a 3rd strong safety as a good idea because that means you could stack, you could stack 1 in the box next to, say, Josie Jewell and still keep another strong safety behind him.
Yeah, and you've seen that PJ Locke, against Dallas. He played slot corner. He was playing slot cornerback. He did it well. And he had a crucial down, and they had short yardage. He kept his heels on the first down marker, didn't give up any ground, and broke on the ball quick. So he had that interception. So he can definitely go in there and play some with the ones. Have Justin Simmons back there at free safety while he has to step up as nickel or step up and have to guard Travis Kelce if ever need be. And I think he'd hold his ground. So I'm excited for him. He's really stepped up and had a good offseason. They said that a lot. The players said that a lot about PJ Locke. in their press conferences, and I hadn't really seen it, and he really showed it that they were right, and so I love that. I love his improvement. I love where he's going.
Jay, what do you feel about strong safeties there?
I love all of those. I mean, I think Turner Yell's going to be a special teams all-star.
Yes, he will.
Punt coverage, kick coverage, all-star. Like, he's going to be just firing out. It reminds me of what the preseason game in Japan, Terrell Davis, welcome to the NFL party. That's him in a nutshell. Just like, holy cow, out of a cannon.
And I think, I agree.
I agree with this exactly. I
can see him and Tyree Cleveland. I can see him and Tyree Cleveland being gunners.
Yep.
Sure. Now, I mean, I'm actually kind of surprised about this. Justin Simmons makes the squad. It's shocking.
Somehow.
I don't understand what the coach were thinking.
I know. Really, like
no bites on the trade market.
No, it's Justin Simmons. Come on, guys. If anybody thought that there's no chance Justin Simmons makes this squad, you're out of your dang mind, son. Look, Justin
good friend
Simmons.
of the show too. Justin Simmons, good friend of the show. Shout out,
good
Justin
friend of the
Simmons.
show. We love you, Justin Simmons.
Congratulations for making
Jason.
the 53-man roster. We're proud of you. We knew you could do it. Please come
well
back
done. You worked.
We
We were all chomping at the bit to find out if you'd make it, but now we know you're going to make it. Anyway, PJ Locke has absolutely been dominant in this preseason, and I've loved what I've seen out of him. I think J.R. Reed has a lot of potential. I think he's done some great things.
He's a good tackler.
Yes, he is. He's done some great things, but I don't think you're going to carry 3 free safeties.
No, you can definitely put him on the practice squad.
You can throw him on the practice squad.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets picked up off waivers because he's actually a really good tackling safety.
He is.
So just not good enough to make the 53-man roster, but that's not a ding on him at all. He's
not at all.
Great potential.
No, great potential. And I mean, there may come a day, there could easily come a day he gets called up.
If he stays on there. I wouldn't be surprised if another team poached him.
Doesn't pick him up off waivers? God, I hope not. Yeah, but anyway, is there anything that either of you had different at either of the safety positions than what I've got right there?
No. Pretty sure.
Wow, great minds, huh? You know what? I think we need to bring somebody in here who doesn't agree with us ever, and just to mix it up a little. One of our wives, right?
Just classic role.
No. Anyway, all right. Who wants to call out the next another one that we haven't covered yet?
Let's go Edge.
Which there has been breaking news in the last half regarding the edge position.
Malik Reed has been traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So one thing I really like about George Payton.
Hold on, I've got the compensation.
Compensation's terrible. I'm actually really
I'm actually upset about it. The Steelers' 6th round pick in 2023, and the Steelers get the 7th round pick in Malik Reed from Denver.
Wasn't the whole mentality to get more darts? Like Peyton's a draft, guru. So
I guess he gets one that's around ahead, and then maybe he can turn that one into 2 more.
2 7ths.
Well, also remember that moving Malik Reed frees up $2.5 million in cap space.
Yes,
and true. Like I was saying, one thing I like about George Payton with this is that George Payton doesn't just look at what he can get, but because he's a personable guy, he looks at places that are good for you. And so I think Malik Reed at Pittsburgh is actually a really good move. I think Malik Reed's going to be very successful in Pittsburgh. Kind of a Shaq Barrett thing. I think he's always been playing behind somebody, but off the top of my head, I can't think of the other consistent pass rusher on this side, other side of T.J. Watt. Plus, didn't T.J. Watt just get injured?
He'll be back.
Yeah,
he'll be back. But I mean, you also get another.
I wouldn't be worried about
T.J. Watt to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's a defensive team, so I think it's really going to open Malik Reed up. And George Payton did a fantastic job in choosing a good team. I think that's a really good team for Malik Reed.
Oh, it's a great fit for him. It just it does stink seeing him go. He has been he has been the Broncos leading tackler, sack leader for the last.
Yep.
Sorry, the Broncos leading sack leader for the last 2 years. 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 2 years.
Yeah, but I mean,
2 seasons.
Which it's good because the way the situation with Malik Reed is that that's good that he put up those stat lines, but there are edge rushers on our team currently that are better than Malik Reed or have a higher ceiling than Malik Reed, but he put
Or
up those
higher
stat
expectations.
lines.
Yeah.
And he put up that stat line for other teams, and I think sending him to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh really needs someone like that, opposite of T.J. Watt to go in there and put up those numbers. But with Mike Tomlin as a defensive head coach, I think Malik Reed's going to have even more, and I think he can end up having 11, 12 sacks a season in Pittsburgh.
I think as soon as the decision was made to move Browning to the outside, I think the writing was on the wall for Malik Reed. And so I think that's probably why we didn't get the compensation we thought we would have, because the teams that really valued him a whole lot are probably on the top end of the waiver list anyway. So the Steelers are pretty low on that. So yeah, they had to give something up. Everybody knows he was going to get released. Like he wasn't going to be on the roster. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Saves us the money. Now, I did have him making this roster. He was blue when we got ready to start this show right before that news came out. So as of right now, I have Bradley Chubb, Baron Browning, Nick Bonito, and Randy Gregory being the 4 making this roster. I do still believe, you see over here my original number, the Broncos carrying 5.
Yep.
So guys, help me out. We have Jonathan Kongbo, Jonathan Cooper, and we have Aaron Patrick. Of those 3, do any of those guys you think now that Malik's gone make the 53? Because I truly personally believe that that we can't really get away with carrying only 4. That's
Cooper. Cooper's going to be blue. There's no doubt. We've seen the flash out of him. Doesn't he have is it a heart condition? Was it?
Yeah, he had that put him later on in the draft. I could see Cooper getting, because he's, maybe a little bit inconsistent. I can see putting him on the practice squad, to build some more consistency. Because, if you're going to let a guy like Malik Reed go, or you're going to trade him away because you're so confident in Baron Browning and Nick Bonito stepping in as the number 2s, I don't think Jonathan Cooper move Malik Reed and then put Jonathan Cooper there unless you want to. What playing time is he going to get? And I think you put him on the practice squad, let him mature, and you bring him up just in case of any injuries.
So are you guys agreeing with me that Jonathan Cooper of those 3 is the next one up, the next man up?
I believe so.
Between him and Aaron Patrick had a good showing.
He did, but I think ultimately
showing.
Jonathan Cooper is going to be.
He's got more tape.
I think he's going to be.
He won't survive on the waiver wire either.
No, definitely not. So I'm going to go ahead and change Jonathan Cooper to a prediction of making the roster. So do either of you have more or less or the same or what when it came here to
I have the
Glassman coming in. He says still working. We'll have to catch up later. NRW Crew. Cheers, Dave Full Glassman.
Cheers to you, Dave. We love you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Where do we move to, Johnny? What position are we at?
We're still at edge
finishing
rush.
up edge.
We're still doing edge. Did either of you have more or less or the same or any changes to what I have there on that prediction?
I've got the exact same, and depending on the health status of Randy Gregory, I think that's another position that we will look outside for a veteran presence.
So you think we might end up carrying 6? Or
I think so. 6.
Woo! Wow. Yep. All right.
Eventually.
That's a little deeper. That's a little deep from my taste, but that's okay. That's okay.
We got some. I just think they trust the young guys with Baron Browning, Nick Bonito. They saw what they wanted to see out of Nick Bonito. And one thing about Nick Bonito, what I like the most is that he got better each preseason. And one thing that the coaches really love is your resiliency, your bounce back. Mm-hmm. How do you bounce back after, these bad things are going to happen? How do you respond to that? And Nick Bonito, Nathaniel Hackett held him accountable. He said, Nick Bonito looked like a rookie out there. He is a rookie, but he looked like it. And we don't want you to look like that. We want you to look better than that. And he came out there and responded against Minnesota. Excuse me. Wow.
Bless you.
Excuse me. In a fantastic manner. He had 2
Dude, hit the mute button first. What's wrong with you?
I want to get sick.
I'm not as fast as you. Sorry. But he bounced back. He showed the edge a little bit better, stopped the run game, got in the backfield back to back. So say he's young, he's healthy, he's done what we asked him to do. I think they trust Nick Bonito, and I think they trust Baron Browning to back up the starters without carrying anybody else. I think Jonathan Kongbo, did he get cut?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh,
I could see them.
but I don't see any. I honestly don't see any scenario where he doesn't.
Yeah, I can see them releasing him, and I can see the practice squad edge rushers being Aaron Patrick and Jonathan Cooper.
Yeah,
that's how I can see who are the practice squad edge rushers, and then we carry the other 4 with getting a draft pick from Malik Reed. I can definitely see that.
That's fair. All right, so we're pretty much we pretty much all agree as far as that goes. Okay, cool. Jay, next position.
Can we do just a generality of offensive line? Because I think there's some positions
that's
that
exactly
kind of
how
wave
I
in.
One thing I'd love to point out, when I initially put together my roster here, and I didn't even mean for this to happen. It just came out this way when I got finished. I had exactly 25 players on offense, exactly 25 players on defense, and 3 specialists. So it was kind of weird. I'm sitting there doing it, and I'm like, wait a minute, 25, 25, and 3. This is crazy. I couldn't have done that again if I tried. I thought that was pretty cool. But I did go ahead and put them together on our offensive line. And I'm going to have to maybe zoom out just a little here so we can get them all in there. Ooh. Ultimately, the Broncos are carrying, on my prediction, the Broncos are carrying 9 offensive linemen. To include the tackle positions. Yes. More cuts have been made. On that, we have Quinn Bailey, the left tackle, getting cut today. Have they cut Zach Johnson? I believe they did. I think I missed that.
Reading it now, can confirm Broncos are releasing quarterback Josh Johnson. Had a strong camp.
No,
Josh
I'm
Johnson.
talking about Zach.
I don't believe he has, Johnny.
Okay, yeah, I think it's just Josh Johnson.
I was looking for that now. I haven't seen.
Got too many Johnsons.
Yeah, hey, nobody likes it when there's too many Johnsons in the room.
Johnson's family vacation.
Would this be considered family hour? All the children should be in school, right?
That's true. Go to school, get a job.
Okay, Quinn Bailey's been cut. Yesterday, Sebastian Gutierrez, the right tackle, was cut. He's off. I think that they're looking to bring him back, possibly though, for the practice squad. I can't say for sure. But I'd heard some things about that. So like I said, I predicted 9. How many did each of you guys predict on yours?
Well, I can see, Zach Johnson going to the I could see them carrying Zach Johnson until Tom Compton gets back healthy, and then putting Zach Johnson on the practice squad and carrying. So they would carry 2 left tackles. No, I wouldn't know how many numbers. Let me count it up. Jay, what do you think about that?
I got 9, but I have one disagreement with you, John. That I'm floored that you did. I really am.
Okay.
You put my boy Moody in the corner, like he's gonna come power run right through you. I don't know. I mean, Cam Fleming would be the guy that I would replace and keep Moody. But I understand why you did it. I'm sure for depth of tackle, just because Billy Turner, who knows if he's going to be ready week 1, so we have to have a body in that slot. But if you're picking the best football players, there's no way Moody is lesser than Cam Fleming.
No, that's exactly what it was. Is that I in no way was I valuing Cam Fleming's ability as a football player above Moody. In no way. However, you were completely correct. When I built this, it had to do with the fact that Billy Turner, while he's back practicing, he's not 100%. Nowhere near. And from what I've heard from a good friend of the show, Benjamin Albright, he is woefully, and that's the word Ben used, woefully out of shape. It's going to be a little bit before he's ready to really step in and take it over. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit here. I'm going to have Calvin Anderson continuing at right tackle, at least for now.
Well, hold on, Johnny. Let me stop right there. I think with what you said is important with what Ben's saying about Billy Turner. I could definitely see, but think about this. I'd have Calvin Anderson come in because he plays better at left tackle behind Garrett Bowles than he does at right tackle.
Sure.
Ken Fleming has done a decent job a decent
Yeah,
job.
he really has.
At right tackle. I can see what I can see is at right tackle, if Billy Turner's not 100%, I can see against Seattle.
Hold on. Breaking news. And I don't like it. I am angry. No, I'm going
What?
up with hell no. The Broncos have waived wide receiver Kendall Hinton.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
What? No.
Well,
He'll
he's
go
got
to
some good
practice
tape.
squad.
He's got some good tape. He'll definitely get picked up. They said they want to wait for him to get back.
Oh my
They said
God,
they
I'm
want to sign him to the
so
practice
mad. What? Like, how
He's
did
not this
even...
regime's guy. I mean, there's something to be said for that.
Yeah, but that's not the point. The guy, he put on a show this preseason.
Connection
I
with
think
Russ.
the reason why is for him to get taped for 31 other teams. Our wide receiver room is deep. It really is deep. And I think that the coaches look higher on Seth Williams, who I'm a fan of, higher than we think and more than we think.
Wow.
I think the one thing they were looking for was, Seth Williams seemed like a red zone, big body guy. But the question was how consistent were his hands? And that was the advantage that Kendall Hinton had, was Kendall Hinton had some for sure hands.
Doesn't mean I gotta like it.
He put that on tape. But Seth Williams, this last preseason game, got better and better, learned the offense, got more time with the ones, and he showed some for sure hands, some good plays on third down, and that's what they were looking for.
Now, granted, he's been waived, so I mean, there is always a chance we could pick him up on waivers and bring him back. But do we really think Kendall Hinton clears waivers by the time the
He's a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, by the time he gets back around to the Broncos, not a chance.
That's probably a big reason why KJ Hamler had as much runtime as he did in Minnesota, to kind of gauge where is he to begin the season.
That's the first one that truly stings. That one hurts.
That's brutal.
I mean, I hate seeing Malik go, and that kind of like stung at first. But this,
to a certain point.
It was definitely expected. This one stings, man. Yeah. Oh, all right. So, I don't even want to continue anymore. The show's over.
Hold on.
I'm joking.
Look at the wide receiver room. Go to the wide receiver portion.
Okay, but then we got to get back to it because we don't have very much longer.
Okay, because I want to ask you a question. Look at the depth that we have now with Kendall Hinton being waived. Who do you think they're leaning on to step up in that position that Kendall Hinton would take? Who do you think they're leaning on?
Ultimately, I think it would be Brandon Johnson and Jalen Virgil.
Brandon Johnson.
Jalen Virgil makes the practice squad. Yes, true, but you could bring him onto the 53 and put him on reserve IR for the next 4 weeks.
I think earlier you said that you had Seth Williams being waived.
I think that screams exactly what I was saying. Is that screams outside big body, because you got to think Judy, Hamler, and Washington are the same player.
Exactly.
And then you got Portland as your main, but you have to have another big body. You have to.
Yeah, and that's why I'd stick with Brandon Johnson. Yeah, I think Jalen Virgil. He did have a great preseason, but there was a few too many mistakes in my opinion. So he makes the practice squad. Brandon Johnson, you bring him onto the 53. I'll go ahead and change that here in a second. You bring him. I'll change it while I'm talking. You go ahead and you bring him onto the 53. Then you place him on short-term IR so that it's not season-ending IR, right? And then
week 6,
week 4, 4. Mm-hmm. And then ultimately he. He comes back and he shows up and he impresses like we know he can. So,
well, the question would be is now they're going to have 4 weeks of Seth Williams on tape. So now it's a competition. At the end of those 4 weeks, do you think they're going to give Brandon Johnson that spot back that was Kendall Hinton's, or do you think Seth Williams would have earned it by then by putting up good numbers? I think I'm going with Seth Williams. I think Seth Williams is the best receiver out of the bunch, and I agree with Jay. It screams that the release of Kendall Hinton is going to be a move to the boundary, and I think Seth Williams is the best outside the numbers wide receiver. I think he's better than Brandon Johnson, so I think that's what they're going with. They wanted, because I think one thing they were looking for was, can you catch the ball on third down? Can you scramble? Can you learn the playbook? And he showed that with Brett Rippon. So I
Yes,
think now he's going to get some reps with Russell Wilson with the ones. Russell Wilson's going to have another
But
big.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. One thing we know about Nathaniel Hackett's offense is the more weapons he's got, the better he is with it. He will rotate these guys in and out, and it'll keep defenses guessing.
Yeah, you know Russell Wilson's gonna work Seth Williams hard. If that's the guy they're leaning on, that's the guy they're going with, and he's gonna be with the first team. They have 2 weeks, and Russell Wilson's gonna work him hard. They're gonna do a bunch of stuff before and after, and even during practice. Seth Williams is gonna get that work from Russell Wilson. He's gonna make him better and get their timing down. And like I said, I'm a big fan of Seth Williams, so I 100% think this guy's gonna show up and show out, and he's ready. He's gonna put some good tape on film.
I'm thinking out loud. That actually really changes my tight end room more than I thought it was going to.
Well, let's finish up our offensive line real quick because we really kind of got interrupted there by breaking news.
How dare you, Bronco?
I know, stupid Twitter. God. Hang on.
So the offensive line is, I think.
Let's finish that up, and then we'll move on to tight end real quick.
Yeah, so I like with the offensive line. I like Quinn Miners. Netane Muti can be, he's recovering. You can sign him, but I think you carry him. I mean, you could, but I think Calvin Anderson's going to back up Garrett Bowles. I think Cam Fleming's going to back up.
Well, of course, we do know that Calvin Anderson is a good swing tackle. He can swing.
And so
is Cam Fleming. Both of them, both Cam Fleming and Calvin Anderson are both swing tackles.
But Cam Fleming's been impressive on right tackle as well.
I'm not saying he hasn't been. What I'm saying is,
need to both.
Either one of those guys can swing if they have to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm saying you carry them both in the 53-man roster.
Now, Quinn Miners was the only one that obviously we've already talked about the Netane Muti situation. The reason I did what I did with that, Billy Turner, when he does return healthy, he can play anywhere along the offensive line. He's literally played all 5 positions, and played them well, to be honest. Graham Glasgow's another guy. He can swing. He can swing between guard and center. He's not so great at tackle, even at his size, but
he's played really well at center in the preseason. Yeah. He's done a really good job.
In guard or center, he plays very well. Garrett Bowles obviously is just the solidified 100%, starting left tackle. There's no freaking question. So I like the offensive line being set up like this. Yeah. Obviously, I could see us, finding a way to bring Muti, at least in my roster, the way I set it up. You already said it, Jay. You swapped out, what was it, Cam Fleming and Netane Muti on yours. That's fine. I could see us doing something different. I could see maybe us. I think Luke Wattenberg earned his position on the 53-man in this preseason, but you know what? I could see us putting Luke Wattenberg onto the practice squad to be our, for the practice squad, and then keeping Netane Muti. And then if you need someone to back up Lloyd Cushenberry, you got Graham Glasgow.
Yep.
I agree. Or if you need somebody to back up,
actually.
Or if you need somebody to back up Quinn Miners as well, you have Graham Glasgow who can move to the right guard position. Well, or the left guard position behind Dalton Reisner. So you can have Graham Glasgow move anywhere on the offensive line until Netane Muti gets back from injury. Yeah, but I think, for right tackle, for Quinn Bailey, Benjamin Albright, he said that, the thing is Quinn Bailey is in football shape. So if I'm a coach and I want Quinn Bailey to get in football shape, and that's one of the things we're looking at during the next 2 weeks in practice, I'm going to have Quinn Bailey run multiple reps throughout the entire practice with ones.
Quinn Bailey's cut, dude.
No, not Quinn Bailey. I'm sorry. Not Quinn Bailey. Billy Turner. I'm sorry. Billy Turner.
Whew.
I'd have to move him at different parts of the offensive line.
Quinn Bailey's turning in his playbook today, pal.
Yeah, my bad. Billy Turner. Yeah, if you're going to move, in order to get Billy Turner in football shape, I just have him play multiple positions on the offensive line, which he can do with the one, so he can learn the offensive playbook even better and get in football shape at the same time, because he's also your Swiss Army knife. Graham Glasgow is an interior offensive lineman. Swiss Army knife, and Billy Turner is an entire offensive line Swiss Army knife. So it's definitely a good problem to have when you can hold those roster spots maybe for other players like wide receiver or special teams if you needed to have those extra roster spots, because your number twos on the offensive line or certain guys you have can move back and forth anywhere on the offensive line.
I mean, and me personally, real quick before we move to – I'm sorry, Jay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say one thing. I'm kind of surprised Juwan James isn't on this because we're paying him.
Say that name. You keep that Shermer out of here. All right, so here's how I feel about the offensive line. I feel like 9 is the magic number when it comes to our offensive line. I think carrying only 8 players from the offensive line is too few. But then I feel like carrying 10 is too many. So I feel like 9 is the magic number. So I like it. While we've been talking offensive line, Shadow Jacker has joined us. He pops in the chat saying, "No, not the Hall of Famer." Are there any waived or released players the Broncos may grab from other teams?
That's a great. Let's go to tight end.
Yeah. I'm sure there are, but I have not been paying enough attention to other teams just yet, Shadow, to really make a call.
Same here.
And then he says, "This is a tough cut, fellas." Yes, it is. It's almost as bad as that time Isaiah decided to shave his own head. That was a tough cut too. Whew.
Well, I think Shadow. We said earlier. I think Kendall Hinton's put some good tape. And they believe that, they're going to take the chance to say, hey, go out there, see if you can get picked up by somebody, get put on a 53-man roster. If not, we'd love to have you back on the practice squad. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll see what that is. So they're willing to take that chance. Either way, I think it's a win-win. Kendall Hinton gets picked up. He's got some good tape. George Maiden, Nathaniel Hackett. But I think they're, like we said earlier, Shadow, I think they're putting their faith in Seth Williams, which, I agree with.
So go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, Shadow Jacker. I got a name for you as we approach here the tight end room. I already see people banging on the table on Twitter for this guy, and I'm in 100% agreement. We haven't gone over the cornerback room, but Mojo OJ, I think he's gone. That's a foreshadow to our next discussion here. But to replace the OJ in the room, OJ Howard got released from Buffalo. I think that would be a terrific signing. I would love that. Former first round draft pick.
We saw him against us.
Scored a touchdown
2 games ago.
Yep.
And he looks great.
Yeah,
sign me up.
That would be a fantastic.
That looks
even
good.
though Michael Mojo's injured, would you wait?
Dulcich ain't ready.
OJ Howard is tight end.
Yeah, he's
OJ Howard's tight end.
Oh yeah.
Well,
let's go tight end.
Here's where I'm at. First of all, Eric Tomlinson, loved bringing him in to be a blocker. But Isaiah and I already talked about this earlier. Eric Saubert has proven that as far as our tight end room goes, he is our Swiss Army knife.
Yep. He is a fantastic run-blocking tight end.
He is a fantastic – he's got good hands catching. He caught a few touchdowns this preseason. He's also shown that he is – of the tight ends, he is the best run blocker. Except maybe Andrew Beck, but of course Andrew Beck is a fullback.
Yeah, Andrew Beck is really good too. Andrew Beck is really good.
I feel like we can comfortably get rid of Eric Tomlinson. I hate it because I do like him as a blocker. But the thing of it is, when you put Eric Tomlinson on the field, even though he had a couple of random catches that we were kind of shocked about in this preseason, when other teams see him on the field, they're going to know he's there to block. The majority of the time, 9 times out of 10, that's why he's on the field. Yeah, you put someone like Eric Saubert on the field, you keep him guessing a little bit.
Yeah, he's definitely got some good hands, and he's definitely shown his run blocking capability. He scored a few touchdowns in the preseason as well. So, like in the red zone, he's a good tight end.
He's a good red zone.
But I can't see George with carrying 3 tight ends. You're going to carry Greg Dulcich. He was your second pick in the draft. You actually got him to replace Noah Fant, so they're going to keep him. They're going to carry him. I can't see them carrying.
I kind of feel like George has proven he doesn't put as much stock in draft picks, or in like players that have been drafted or where they were drafted as other people do.
But I think I don't think you carry 4 tight ends. I don't think that's what they do.
Well, I mean, you look at this. Andrew Beck.
Jay, you think they're going to carry 4 tight ends?
I think might carry 5. I think this could be the position swing with Kendall Hinton gone. If we're searching for a big-bodied wide receiver, a red zone target, that's kind of Albert O. And we've seen him in that role this whole preseason, playing into the fourth quarter, probably on the fence with some of these coaches. But that is the role he does. Like, that is his skill set. So I could totally see us basically making Alberto a pseudo wide receiver and essentially put him in the wide receiver room. And then you carry Dulcich, you carry Beck, you carry Saubert, and you either carry Tomlinson or an outside OJ Howard.
I mean, of course, Andrew Beck is not just a tight end. He's a fullback.
Correct. He don't count either. So if you take Alberto and Beck out, then yeah, I mean, Tomlinson has a role maybe. So I'd keep all of them right now.
Or
all things,
Howard.
Yeah, or Howard. But Tomlinson, if we want to keep him, we're the ones that signed him. Like, I think he's like a $1 million cap hit or something like that. So it's not chump change.
But if we cut him, believe it or not, that $1 million that can go a long way into signing a bubble, towards the possible $50 million contract that we will be extending Russell Wilson for this
60?
season.
Well, we did trade Malik Reed for $2.5 million, so we do have some money if we want to spend.
Yeah, but again, if you start figuring out where to make these cuts, Eric Tomlinson's a veteran. He's making veteran money. So if you find a way to make a few cuts here and there to save the money, that's money in your pocket that you're going to be able to roll over to paying our new franchise quarterback and ensuring that he stays here for the foreseeable forever.
We definitely have a lot of cash flow now with the new owners.
You still have to be careful. Even with cash flow, you still have to be careful with your cap.
I'd cut Tomlinson. And then I'd let Greg Dulcich be the practice squad tight end while he's recovering from his hamstring.
I was going to say I think he could be PUP list.
Yeah, I agree, and make sure he's 100%. And then if he's 100%, if Saubert is performing, I expect to perform, say, hey, Saubert's doing a fantastic job. He's hot. Why take him out now? I'd keep Greg Dulcich. Because remember, Saubert's on a 1-year contract. Let him get some tape out there to 31 other teams this year if he's performing. And then let Greg Dulcich learn the offense that much better on practice squad. And then at the end of the season, then you bring Greg Dulcich up as tight end number 2, and then you can look elsewhere for tight end number 3.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. Okay, next position.
And guys, this will have to be my last positional group. I'm very sorry to say.
Yeah, you've got a job to do.
My hotels are calling. I'm very sorry.
Yeah,
I'm on the clock right now.
So Jay, then why don't you tell me? Would you rather talk about inside linebacker or cornerback?
I think cornerback.
Cornerback it is. Yeah. You're not going to like me for some of this, and that's okay.
I can already tell.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I've got Pat Surtain, Michael Ojemudia, Damari Mathis, Ronald Darby, K'Wan Williams, and Isang Bassi all making the roster. You can see where Bless Austin was cut yet, and both Donnie Lewis Jr. were cut yesterday. I think by both those guys being cut yesterday, that is a sure sign from George Payton that he is looking to pick up cornerback on waivers. But I did keep Michael Ojemudia. I know, Jay, that is the place that you're looking at and you're going, I don't like it. I know it, but here's why, okay? I do think Mojo still has something left in the tank. He's hurt. He dislocated that elbow. It's a 4 to 6 week recovery. Correct. What you do, you carry him on the 53, and then you place him on injured reserve. He can return in 4 weeks. Until then, you'll be able to pick up another cornerback on waivers. I that's why I did what I did, carrying Mojo. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure you would probably agree with what I've put out there.
Yep. Yeah, to a spot. Exactly. I actually have Hicks in instead of Mojo because I have Mojo as a cut. But I think that is a temporary move. Hicks will go to practice squad. And I think that will eventually be another vet.
Well, personally, when I look at Faion Hicks, I don't believe he's ready for the NFL.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right. But
I think he's got the potential in the future. I believe he got the potential in the future, but he's not there right now.
Mathis and Bassi will be up before him. Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Well, yeah, I definitely like that. And one last thing, looking at the back of the depth between K'Wan Williams, who's coming off injury, saying, do I really trust, Isang Bassi? What has he really shown? But I also like the versatility of our depth because we've got also PJ Locke and Caden Stearns that have played really well in the nickel position that can back up K'Wan Williams as well. So George Payton's done a good job of getting depth and versatile depth as well.
Yes. So, I mean, I think we can all agree. I mean, you see why I did what I did with Mojo, keeping him on the roster the way I did. You place him on injured reserve. You can bring him back in 4 weeks. And hey, you bring somebody up on waivers, and they turn out to be better than Mojo. Cut him then.
Yeah, true. That's buy yourself time.
But but at least then we know. It's kind of the devil, Mojo was getting burned a little bit in the offseason or in the preseason, but the fact of the matter remains, he has had some good tape, and he still has some high potential, some high ceiling. So I'd keep him for now. And then, like I said, you bring somebody else in and they show up and show out. Well, then fine. Hey, Mojo, hit the bricks. OJ, jump in the white. No, I'm not going to make that joke. The white Bronco. All right. So, Jay, I know you got to get out of here. You've got a job to do. You got to go make that money. I will call you later, cousin. We love you. And
love you, Jay.
Happy cut day, boys.
Happy Cutdown day, boys.
Refresh.
I will text you later, cuz. I love you, bud.
All right, take it easy, guys.
Love you, Jay.
Let's ride.
Let's ride,
baby. All right. It's me and you, Isaiah. Let's keep this rolling.
All right.
D-Rock Shadow says, what's the news on Ozigbo? Nothing yet. We haven't heard anything. I think he made the squad. Yeah, both of us agree. We think and Jay agreed too when we were still on here. We think he makes the practice squad. Oh, that's messed up. I like that. This D-line against the pass will be absolutely insane. Agreed. Shadow says Ochamudia remind me so much of Bradley Roby's swipe left. Wait a minute. Agree. You know what, Shadow? I don't know what that. I'm gonna like admit something here. I've been married for almost 15 years. I don't know whether swiping left or swiping right. I don't know which one is the right one to do when you want somebody or don't want somebody. So you say swipe left. I'm just guessing you mean please no. Like I've never, like what is that? What is that even app? I don't even remember the name of the app.
Yeah, meaning I have no idea. I don't. Yeah.
But anyway, no,
let us know in the chat.
I don't need it. Isaiah, run us down. I'm going to take this phone call real quick, and then why don't you run us down inside linebacker while I do that?
All right. So we got him. Hello. Me personally, I say
we're finishing up our last 2 positions.
So I think definitely Josie Jewell, Jonas Griffith definitely looks like he's good to go. He might be good to go week 1. They trust Alex Singleton as just or not. Johnny.
He's asleep.
So I definitely think that Jonas Griffith is going to be good to go week 1. They seem to trust Justin Sternad and Alex Singleton. So I think they're going to bring those 4. And you also, I remember, so I said they're going to take 4, but remember, you also have Baron Browning down here at the edge position, which he's very versatile in. So I think we've seen that he can play inside linebacker if they need to. So that can be that 5th depth guy for inside linebacker, but he's on the roster as an edge. So you get to use that position, somewhere else because of Baron Browning's versatility. You don't have to bring an extra inside linebacker. So that's the good thing about having a Swiss Army knife. And, the thing that George Payton's looked at and, the guys that he's grabbed and signed, he definitely has a Swiss Army knife in almost every position that he's got. I mean, he's got Baron Browning on the defensive line, the edge. Got him at inside linebacker. He's got Graham Glasgow who can play guard and stuff and center and Billy Turner as well. They just different players that are athletic that can move anywhere. And it definitely helps you sign other positions, have room to sign other positions. For example, I'm a big fan of Seth Williams. Definitely thinks that he's going to step up this year. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what other cuts they're going to make. So see if Johnny's back.
I'm back. I'm sorry about that. Isaiah knows this. I hadn't talked about it. My little boy was in the ER this morning with a very high fever, very sick, and he's home now, but still definitely not doing the best right now. Thank God. My brother who lives with us, he's with the boys right now while I'm doing this. I'll give him a break as soon as we're done here, but he my wife was calling for an update on how he's doing. And he's down for a nap, thank the Lord. And hopefully when he wakes up, that fever will not be at almost 106 degrees again.
Yeah, we're definitely praying for that. And,
that was terrifying.
Glad he's asleep and he's getting some rest.
Coming from a medical background, almost 106 degrees, 106.5 is when your brain starts to literally melt.
Yep, 106.
So, when I saw that temperature come up this morning, I was in a full-blown panic. So he's okay. We've managed to get the fever broken, at least for now. But I'm taking his temperature every half an hour, except for during now while my brother's watching them. So anyway, let's finish this up. Where were we at? I know you were talking about linebacker, but then I heard Seth Williams when I came back.
No, we just finished talking about inside linebacker, and I said, me personally, I'd carry 4 because Baron Browning is the edge rusher, so he can also play inside linebacker, so he can be that 5th depth guy. And I also said that
yeah. So
I'm also said that George Payton likes versatile players, so like Baron Browning and things like that. So that's what I said.
Yeah, see, I that's but those exactly what you just said is the reason I'm carrying 3. Like, we've had some issues with injury over the last year or so at that position, but I don't see. But right now, I believe Jonas is gonna. I believe our boy Jonas. Jonas, I love Jonas Griffith. I've got to say it. I had to say.
So do I.
I love Jonas Griffith. What a pickup by George. Love it. And Josie's my boy. I love Josie Jewell. I think he's an incredible field general. And he's got instincts that are second to none on the Broncos.
I agree.
He may not have the best athletic profile. He's athletic as heck, no matter what anybody says. But he may not have the best athletic profile. But I believe that his instincts are second to none.
And his athleticism improved, and his pass coverage has gotten better the last couple of years. So I think you pair him with a fantastic run stopper.
Here's why I chose Alex Singleton. I chose Alex Singleton as our 3rd inside linebacker for the same reason. Instincts. Football instincts. You saw it in the preseason against the Bills. Alex Singleton was on a coverage along the right sideline. When he looked back and he saw that running back, he broke his coverage assignment, ran across the field, and planted a beautiful tackle to stop that run before it got past 5 yards. Well done. Most linebackers don't have that kind of vision.
Well, he also had good vision on the play with the almost any interception he got with.
I forgot about the interception.
Pass coverage. He read the quarterback's eyes the whole way, and it would have been a pick 6 if he had held on to it. I mean, he read the quarterback's eyes. He stayed in his zone, and then he broke on the ball so fast that he almost had the pick 6. And I can see what you're saying by going and putting Justin Sternad, and I'd say Kanai Mauga on the practice squad.
Mauga, we've only gotten to see one game worth. It's Mauga. Yeah, Mauga.
Yes.
You've only you know me and how I am about pronouncing names. I will literally sit there and I will search every bit of news or video I can find until I learn how to properly pronounce a player's name, because me personally, my last name gets mispronounced constantly. And I have a weird pride. It's not that weird. My father's the same way. I have a weird pride in my last name. And when you mispronounce my name, I lose my Shermer on you. So I learned to pronounce everyone's name that I possibly can as perfect as possible, because I want them to do the same for me. So when it comes to Justin Mauga, Justin, wow. See, look at me. Look what you've done to me. Kanai Mauga, it's Kanai, but anyway, Kanai Mauga, we've only gotten one game worth of film from him. I think he's got a high upside, but I don't think he makes the 50. I do not think he makes the 53 based on that one show based on 1 week of practice and one game worth of film.
No, I agree. I think he put Justin Sternad. I think he put Justin Sternad.
Barrington Wade showed some good stuff.
They cut him already.
Yeah, did they really? Did they
Baron Brady was already cut. Yeah, so I think you put Justin Sternad.
Oh my God! See, here I am looking like an idiot again. I forgot to fix that. Let me fix that real quick.
Yeah, Baron. Yeah, they already cut. So I think Justin Sternad and Kanai Malga will be on the practice squad.
You do
I
too.
can see if you keep 3 inside linebackers with Baron Browning there, I can see putting Justin Sternad and Kanai Malga on the practice squad because Joe Sherbert's already gone as well with Barrington Wade.
Yeah, I mean it stinks. I do not think Justin Sternad makes the 53.
Yeah, that's what I said. You put him on the practice squad.
Yeah, that's why that's why I truly believe that we only carry 3 because you do have. I think you do have Baron Browning. Something happens to one of these guys, and it would suck having to take Baron Browning back off the edge because he has proven that he is so good there. We've also seen that he is a starting caliber inside linebacker. So you can move him over and be comfortable, be safe. That gives us 4. And I think that's enough for now. That's how I feel about it. You know, it is what it is. And I agree with Shadow here. At this point, guessing the practice squad is harder than the 53 man. Which, by the way, I've got to say, the little wrenches that have been thrown into my roster predictions based on the cuts that have already been made have definitely made this insane, considering how many hours I spent building this roster yesterday, making sure I had it as perfect as I thought I could get it. That's okay, though. What positions haven't we covered? I don't feel like I think we've covered almost everything.
Did we cover interior defensive line?
We've got interior defensive line left, quarterbacks, and that's it, I believe. I truly believe we've covered everything else. So, Isaiah, should we save quarterback for last? Because it's going to be that one's going to be so hard to really decide.
No,
let's do it right now.
Yeah, we'll do it right now. We'll do quarterback right now.
This is easy. All right. As of an hour ago, Josh Johnson has officially been waived, making Brett Rippon the second or the backup quarterback officially of the Denver Broncos. Now, here we go. Matt Staffiero, our buddy over at Rocky Mountain Sports Network, says,
what's up, Matt?
10 to go, gents. Dave Glassman asks, are we still live? Yes, we are. Not for much longer, Dave, but we are still live.
We're holding strong, Dave. We're holding strong.
Yep. So Brett Rippon, I predicted was our second man. Behind, I don't know how he got this roster spot, but apparently Russell Wilson's our starter. I mean, I don't know who just gave this nobody named Russell Wilson the starting position.
Exactly.
But apparently somebody saw something that none of us have seen. I'm kidding, of course. Russell Wilson, of course, is the starting quarterback. I predicted Brett Rippon would be the second. I believe he had the highest level of consistency.
Agreed. He had great
and when I'm talking, in this case, when talking about consistency, I'm not talking about seeing the same thing over and over. I'm talking about somebody who week to week shows improvement.
He was consistent at getting better.
He consistently got better after every game. I'm going to take this down for a minute because I want the people to see how serious my face is here. Boom! Why am I next to you there? That is wrong. I belong on this side. Not that it's actually more just it doesn't look right to me because we've spent so much time with it in this setup. So sitting here right now, thinking about what we saw in the preseason from our quarterbacks, our backup quarterbacks. Josh Johnson put on a great showing in that first game. I don't think anybody could deny that he won game one as far as the quarterback competition goes.
After you're done, we got a comment from Matt that we can grab one.
I love it, and we will. I promise. I do not think you could disagree with me that Josh Johnson won game one of the preseason as far as the quarterback competition goes. The backup quarterback. All right. After that, games 2 and 3 were shaky at best. I mean, there was a lot of checkdowns. In fact, I felt so many shades of Teddy Bridgewater in those final 2 games from Josh Johnson. I started getting the shakes.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that.
Now, game 1, Brett Rippon, he was playing with the 3s and 4s, and it was a little bit of a struggle for him. He looked good, but not great. Games 2 and 3, however, he stepped up in a big way with both the 3s and 4s in game 2 and the 2s and 3s in game 3 of the preseason.
Yeah, he was one of the very few bright spots.
Every game, Brett Rippon showed he was taking what he learned from the week before, applying it, and getting better. So I'm really, really, really excited that Brett Rippon got that position.
Agreed. Matt says, speaking of QBs, Albright is saying he wouldn't be surprised if Broncos add to the QB room. No, neither would I. I would see who they want to get off the waiver wire. That would be my go-to. See who they get off the waiver wire.
As long as it's not Deshaun Watson or Cam Newton, I'm okay.
No, and Cam Newton and definitely not Deshaun Watson, but Cam Newton would not be on the practice squad. So they're probably looking for a quarterback to put on the practice squad.
I'm just saying I can't stand Cam Newton and his attitude. I don't want that on the Broncos. Now I can see that. I like this question. He said Skylar Thompson, maybe. I could see it. He'd be, of course, behind Brett Rippon. I don't think Skylar Thompson's going to outdo Brett Rippon.
This was Matt's earlier comment. He says, hearing Jalen Virgil could sneak onto the roster.
Wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me at all, given the fact that we just cut Kendall Hinton.
Yeah, Kendall Hinton and Seth Williams is moving up on the depth chart in that position. There's an open spot that seems like a blessing came for Jalen Virgil with Brandon Johnson being injured. And not being able to play. I think now with Kendall Hinton being out, though, you carry Brandon Johnson on the 53 man and place him on reserve IR. That's if you believe that Brandon Johnson had a better preseason.
I think he had a phenomenal preseason before that high ankle sprain.
Yeah, and Jalen Virgil was having a phenomenal season.
Yes, he was, but he also did show a few moments of bad decision making that we didn't see from Brandon Johnson.
Yeah, so they may just put Jalen Virgil on the practice squad and just hold Brandon Johnson.
I'm not saying he won't make the 53. What I'm saying is I do see reasons he may not.
No, I agree. But if they're going to do that, if they're going to move the Brandon Johnson,
sorry, my fat butt is swallowing my jersey apparently because
if they're going to keep Brandon Johnson, then they're going to keep Jalen Virgil on the practice squad and maybe get another receiver for practice squad as well, depending on how many quarterbacks they want to carry. So that'd be interesting. But I definitely think Matt also comes in and says,
"Oh, you pulled it up at the same time I did."
Okay, go ahead, Johnny, pull it up.
All right. He says Williams, Cleveland, or outside wide receiver.
Seth Williams. I said this earlier. I'm a big fan of Seth Williams. I think Seth Williams made some plays in that game. He had one drop, but Russell Wilson's going to work that out of him. I definitely think he showed some third down potential.
Russ has such high, not expectations is a good word for it, but not necessarily the word I'm looking for.
Seth Williams is going to be. He's got
what is
expectations.
Well, not expectations is a good word, but there's another word for it. Standards. Thank you. Russ has such ridiculously high standards for those that are in the game with him. He is not going to stand for it. If you cannot hack it, hack it. That's an inside joke with me and Isaiah. I'm not even going to go into it right now. But if you cannot be up to Russell Wilson's standard, he is going, even though he's a great guy, great person, great, teammate, he wants to win. He is a winner. That's what he does. That's what he wants. And he is not going to just sit there and be like, yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. No, he's going to be like, coach, take him out until we can get him retrained.
I agree. Russell Wilson's definitely going to take him to the side, and Seth Williams knows that himself. I think he showed some spots where, Brett Rippon scrambled and Seth Williams had a huge catch. He had soft hands and he showed a little bit more consistency.
You have soft hands, big boy.
And outside
every time you say it, I'm going to say
it. But one thing they're looking for, is consistency. And Seth Williams got consistently better and inside the red zone and outside the red zone. And I think, he's the closest thing to Tim Patrick, so they're going to lean on him a little bit. So I think Tyree Cleveland's going to be on the roster, but as special teams because I think Seth Williams is.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there 100%. Dwayne Stukes, by the way, is probably one of the most intimidating human beings I've ever seen. I don't know what it is about him, just something about the way he holds himself, something about the way he talks, something about the way, like every time he gets asked a question by the media, he's like, look, this is me. This is how it's going to be.
And that's the way he coaches.
And I'm like, dude,
you're
not even my coach, and I'm scared out of my mind right now of you. Like, he is an intimidating guy. And so I believe Cleveland I believe he's high on Cleveland. Tyree Cleveland is a core. He has actually used the words. Dwayne Stukes has used the words on multiple occasions, core special teams player. Therefore, Tyree Cleveland makes the roster as a special teams player. We might go for an outside wide receiver, or maybe George Payton just decides to save some money and stick with his undrafted free agent, Jalen Virgil. Who knows?
I can see that. And I think Russell Wilson's absolutely going to love Seth Williams.
Oh,
I think he's going to drill him and work him in these next couple
knowing
of weeks.
Russ and how much he knows about each and every one of these players because of the person he is, he either already does or he already doesn't.
Yeah, he's definitely going to pull Seth Williams inside with the other receivers. Get up now you're with the other receivers now. Well, they get up at 06 in the morning, and we come out to the field before practice. So you're part of that group now. So I expect the same thing from you.
Oh! More news.
Hold up. Oh, okay, breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. Throw it out there. Go.
I don't have to get going.
Per Mike Close, 9 News. Broncos have officially cut veteran safety J.R. Reed.
Hoping to pick him up on practice squad. J.R. Reed. That's what we said earlier. We thought the same thing. We think Turner Yell was really stepped up and just had a better game and showed maturity in big moments. So I think he really showed.
I'm going to make that update to our tracker. I'm going to make that update to the tracker right meow. Hang on.
Yeah, so I think between J.R. Reed and Turner Yell, I think Turner Yell really, this last preseason game when he had to, in the Buffalo game, even the announcer said this, the only one person that was tackling in that game against Buffalo Bills was Turner Yell. So he took that he had gained, and once again he showed the coaches consistency. He progressed consistently, and then this game he really stepped up, had a sack, had some big hits on the goal line. So they like him.
J.R. Reed. Oh, wait a minute.
J.R. Reed, he's a good tackler. He's definitely a good tackler. You can see that he was definitely getting in there, not afraid of contact. But they're going to see if they can get him back in the practice squad. But they're definitely okay with letting him go because Turner Yell definitely stepped up.
Turner Yell stepped up in a big way.
Dave Full-Glassman says he just saw the Malik Reed.
J.R. Reed officially cut. I've got it on the tracker now.
Dave Full-Glassman says just saw Malik Reed news and Philip Lindsay. Yep, Philip Lindsay just got cut. By the Colts.
All right, so we got one last position group to go over, and that is just like we did with the offensive line. We're going to go as a whole, the interior defensive line.
Okay.
So, predictions made. There have already been several cuts made. One of them, both of them today, in fact. And one of them was someone I had making this roster. Kind of sad, but at the same time, and like Dave Glassman brought up just a second ago, Malik Reed. Or not Malik Reed, sorry. I'm sorry. He's talking about Malik Reed. I'm talking about McTelvin Agim.
Yeah.
McTelvin Agim has been released, even after what I thought was an incredible showing from him in the final preseason game. He did an amazing job. He forced 2 fumbles, had, 3 batted passes and 4 tackles, one of them for loss.
Yeah, 2 forced fumbles, 2 sacks.
He had an amazing
2 bad down balls.
Yeah. It sucks to see that happen because I really had him making the roster. I don't think he clears waivers back to the Broncos. So wherever
Payton knows that. Payton knows that. And I think what they're doing is they're moving and they're trusting their rookies, Matt Henningsen and Uwazurike. And they're saying, okay, we're going to go with these newest guys.
I didn't feel like we saw enough out of Inyoma.
This last game,
Annie, as he tells people to say
this last game, he was a little bit more consistent. He was a little bit better. It's just that McTelvin game had a pop game but he also wasn't consistent in the Buffalo Bills game. I think what they see with Uwazurike is he was more consistent throughout the entirety of the preseason camp, where he had a pretty good game this game. Or they might be looking to release some money from the Malik Reed trade to get somebody off waiver wire, somebody that was calling for Ndamukong Suh, which I don't think will happen.
You know what? I actually could see that happening.
Yeah,
look,
I would. I'd be happy
with as much as Ejiro Evero wants to stop the run. Adding another vet run stopper like Ndamukong Suh makes a lot of sense to me.
So would he take Deshaun Williams' position?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think Ndamukong would sue to not start though.
I think it'd be. I think it could be another one of those situations of by committee, rotational.
Yeah, but do you think he would sign to be rotational? I think he would sign to start.
I think at this point in his career, I think at this point in his career, as often as he's getting cut from teams, he should be feel lucky to have any interest from any team at all.
He should be, but he may not be. So I'd kick the tires and just ask. But I could definitely see him taking Deshaun Williams' position at defensive end, and you have Ndamukong Suh.
I think Deshaun Williams has had too good of an offseason to just give his position away, though.
I agree, and they're going with him because Nathaniel Hackett has shouted him out multiple times and said, he's really impressed me this offseason.
But I mean, otherwise,
I'd be with him just staying with Deshaun Williams and not going to go get anybody else.
Yeah. Now, I mean, now you got the Jones brothers, Draymond and DJ. There's not even a question. Deshaun Williams has thank you, Shadow. Deshaun Williams has had a really, really great offseason. Mike Purcell, I think I do think they will approach him for a restructure of his contract.
Yeah, probably
to try to save a little bit of money. And if he refuses, I could see him also getting cut for someone like, say, Matt Henningsen or another player off waivers.
Well, I think his cap hit is a lot lower because it's post June 1st. So I think if we had released him before June 1st, the cap hit would have been much longer. But if they decided to restructure and he decides to say no, he's a post June 1st cut. Excuse me. So I think it's smart of George Payton to wait to talk about. There's Jay.
Jay's back. Dream we in the house. Yeah, we've been in this a lot longer than I think any of us expected.
I was surprised too.
But you know what? We're just finishing up. We were just now finishing up our defensive line. So, Jay,
okay.
I don't know if you've heard. It come down that J.R. Reed has officially been cut.
Okay, yeah, that's expected.
So
wait, hold on. They cut J.R. Reed and Kanai Mauga.
Mauga's been cut. So our prediction. Granted, he could still make if he clears waivers, he could still make the practice squad.
That's what they're doing. They're hoping that
But I'm gonna go here while you discuss what you're seeing based on what I've put here as my predictions for defensive linemen.
Okay.
Discuss what you see, what you don't see, and what you feel like might be missing or different. Well, I update the fact that Kanai Mauga has been released.
Uwazurike. Did I say that right? Uwazurike?
It's Enioma Uwazurike.
Okay. All right. Uwazurike I had as actually a cut before Ajim was cut. I thought Ajim did enough with the strip fumble in the last preseason game to get over the hump, but I was sadly mistaken. Hopefully he comes back and we can get him back on practice squad or something in some form. I really liked him. But other than that, I'm right there with you guys. I agree with all. I'm very happy to see Mike Purcell continuing to be here. I know some people had said that might be a dark horse cut.
It still could be. Before you jump back in, we were literally just talking about that. I think that they will approach him for a restructure.
Yeah.
And if he refuses to restructure his contract, I could see them cutting him.
Jay, Johnny, just look at the time. I'm going to have to head out, but we've hit an hour and a half. So I had to take off here, but
Now,
Jay,
you know what?
came in
Here,
good
like,
timing.
we're gonna sign off, y'all, right now because we have covered every position, and it's been fun. It's been fun, but we really are gonna head out. Thank you for joining us for a surprise Tuesday morning episode of Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue. It has been a blast predicting the 53-man roster. There will be there'll be many more cuts coming throughout the day. So make sure you're refreshing those Twitter feeds. We will do our best to keep up and continue to retweet any cuts that we have found out about. But by the end of this day, we will know who our starting 53 are for week 1 against the Seattle Seahawks next week. Thank you for joining us on the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Okay, please. In the bio below, you will find the merch store. Jump on in there and get yourself some swag. Don't miss our other shows at 12, 11, 10, 9 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. On every game day is the Get Bucked pregame show. A half an hour after every game on game days is the Buck Your Feelings postgame show. Don't miss them. Excuse me. That did not feel good. Don't miss them. They're a lot of fun. Guys, I feel like all three of us are in the house on the Nothing Rhymes podcast. We have got to end this the right way. Don't you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
So NRW Crew, if you would please join me in spreading out your arms to give me a big high five. Woo! We love you, NRW Crew. We love you, Broncos country. We cannot wait to see who our 53 man is here in the next 1 hour, 15 minutes is the deadline, guys. We will know who our 53 man is. We love you, and we will see you next week for another episode of the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. And let's ride!